Hey, all right. So I'm going to talk with you today about strategies that you can use to sort of stay on track if you have health goals, weight loss goals, but in ways that you don't have to miss out on things. It is, if you're listening to this at the time this episode is initially being published, it should be the week of Christmas, maybe even the day after Christmas. And you might think, well, I needed strategies for the holidays long before this. And to that, I would say yes and no. I mean, strategies for helping you stay on track through holidays, that's always a great thing, right? And I do help clients with that. In fact, some of what I'm going to share with you today, I share with my clients every year, an updated version of it every year. And I have met with them and talked with them through the holidays about a variety of strategies, including some of the things that I'm going to share with you today. But bottom line, it does not matter if it's the holiday season, it's summer season, it's the busy season at work, it's spring and you're starting to get outside again because it's warm. It doesn't matter. We will always have something or some things going on in life that make the season or the time in our life difficult. So, what I'm sharing with you is beneficial and helpful for you to use no matter if it's before Christmas, after Christmas, it doesn't matter, July, whatever, right? Because the holidays and any of these busy seasons are not about perfection. And that's why I get so frustrated when I talk with women and they're like, well, I'm going to wait until the new year, or I'm going to, wait until summer is over. I'm going to wait until we get out of school for summer, because you're setting up this mindset or this sort of perspective that things are going to be more perfect for me in terms of timing when XYZ happens, or when XYZ is over, or once I get through ABC. And that's just a false narrative. That's a false reality that you're setting up for yourself. And it sets you up to fail, because the holidays or any of those seasons, like I said, they're not about perfection. They're about you being able to make intentional choices. And so your goal isn't to stick to your plan perfectly. It isn't about you adhering or being constantly making choices to eat this or to not eat that. That's an impossibility to maintain if that is how you've set yourself up on your journey. The goal is for you to be as intentional as possible about your choices and make choices in a way that align with the goals that you have most of the time. Most of the time. Not always. There's never a never and an always in this. So I just violated my own rule. But you should not think of things as either always or never, okay? It's about most of the time. And so I'm going to share a banking analogy with you. Again, share this analogy with my clients. It hits home for them oftentimes, and it really helps them through the holidays. And if you're listening to this podcast the day after Christmas or the week of Christmas, most of the Christmas holiday kind of runs into January. So I would encourage you to use the strategy I'm about to give you to get through the rest of the holidays and into January. It will be extremely helpful. But if you're listening to this and it's March or June or August or November of 2025 or beyond, you can use this strategy at any time. So think of the strategy as a bank account. All right. Deposits are the choices that you make that line up really well with the goals that you have. Maybe that has to do with things that you're choosing to eat or not eat for snacks, the way that you are choosing to make your meals, how you're choosing to drink more water, movement you're choosing to get in during the day, whether that's a formal workout or it's going for a walk or just parking farther from the door when you go shopping, right? Those deposits are the choices that really line up well with the goals that you have. Okay. Those are the choices that feel on track, if you will, on plan, on program. Withdrawals are those choices that you make that are indulgences, or they are deviations from your plan or what you had intended to do, right? Whether you're on a formal program or not, they are the treats that you have. Again, could be holiday treats, could be the birthday cake, could be just, choosing to have some cookies or a piece of candy, whatever it is, treats. Maybe it's late night snacks that you're choosing. Those are the withdrawals. All right. Think of them that way. The goal is for you not to get an overdraft, not to be overdrawn on your account, just like with your money, right? You want to make sure that you have more deposits than you have withdrawals when it comes to money. Same thing if you think about your health goals, same kind of philosophy or approach applies. Over time, you want there to be more deposits than withdrawals. And in that way, you are making more choices that are intentional and aligned with your goals than making choices that don't align with those goals. All right. So, simple analogy, but it can really help you to think about your health goals, your weight loss goals in a way that has nothing to do with health and weight loss, but that totally makes sense. We all get it when we talk about our money, right? We get it when we talk about adding to our money, and we get it when we talk about deducting from our money. So think about your health and your weight loss journey in that same sort of way. Now, why do I talk so much about flexibility? Balance, if you will. While I'm not thrilled about that word, if that's what you use, then fine, so be it. Why do I talk about flexibility so much? Well, because there's a superpower in that. Those of you who tell me, and I hear this all the time, well, I just need to have better willpower, or I just need to have stronger willpower, or I just need to, lean in and use my willpower more consistently. That is really bullshit thinking. You've heard me say this kind of thing before, I'm sure, but you're setting yourself up for this impossibility of being able to constantly make every single choice perfectly. You have to lean into and accept the power of flexibility, because that is genuinely what life is about, right? Rigid plans and your attempt to try to stick with this rigid plan and never veer from it leads to burnout. It leads to failure. And research shows this. Research shows us that all or nothing kind of thinking is one of the biggest predictors of failure when it comes to our health and our weight loss. On the other hand, flexibility prevents you from kind of falling into that mindset of I blew it, or I failed, or that, oh, I knew I couldn't do it kind of mindset. You really have to lean into and start to believe in the power of flexibility and how consistency will beat perfection every day of the week. And this is another thing that science and research has shown us over and over again. Studies emphasize that long-term success, if you truly want to lose weight and keep it off forever, if you truly want to optimize your hormone health, optimize your gut health, optimize your general health for the long term, success comes with being consistent, not attempting to adhere rigidly to some perfect plan that you have set up for yourself. One meal, one snack that feels indulgent, even if it is, it doesn't matter how indulgent it is, how off track it is, it does not derail your progress. It's the pattern over time that matters. It's the most of the time that matters, right? And we have to get beyond this kind of thinking, because enjoyment is part of life. And just like enjoyment is part of life, if you truly endeavor to be healthy for the long term, then you have to accept that enjoyment has to be part of that health focus, that healthy lifestyle. Psychologically, okay, when we look at psychological studies, they confirm that enjoying social moments reduces stress and supports overall well-being. And when you think about that on just like a base level, of course it does. Of course, when you're enjoying yourself, you are going to feel better overall. You're going to have less stress. Happiness, enjoyment in life is just that way. I mean, it's not stressful. It feels better, right? It feels healthier. It feels happier. And so it only makes sense that you have to be able to build enjoyment into your healthy lifestyle too. It cannot be that you create this world for yourself where when you're healthy and you're on track with that healthy plan, or where you're trying to be on that healthy journey, that you're miserable. And when you're indulging and eating all the things and being a glutton, that you're enjoying yourself. Those two things cannot ever lead to success. They will not. You will burn out, you will quit, you will constantly be in the battle all the time, right? So that's why I talk about flexibility. That's why I talk about truly doing things in a way that can be sustainable for you. When I work with women on a customized plan, as soon as women come into my coaching programs and my coaching communities, we talk from the get-go about how, of course, they have goals. And of course, because they have goals and they want to be really focused on their health while they're working toward those goals, of course, they're going to make choices to stay on plan, probably even more than most of the time, right? Because they're on that path to reaching goals. We talk about that. But I'm very upfront with them about how I have built their plans in a way that helps them with flexibility. It helps with them with learning to live this lifestyle in a way that they can enjoy it too, right? It's vital because we're trying to transform not just your scale number. We're not just trying to transform your waistline or your definition and tone. We're not just trying to transform your physical being and feeling good in your clothes. What we're trying to do is transform who you are, how you go about your day, how you live your life, which means that is your identity, right? And so we want to ultimately transform your identity, who you are, how you behave, how you act, how you live in this life, because it's only through transforming your identity on that permanent level that you will actually continue to make those healthy choices. And you have to be able to be flexible, and you have to have enjoyment built into all of that for you to ultimately succeed and never have to worry about these things again. That's how you truly solve the root issues. And it just becomes, of course, I live this way. Of course, my weight is at a healthy, stable, sustainable place that makes me happy and comfortable in my own skin and feeling really good and energized. And I'm getting quality sleep. Like, of course, that's just who you are, right? So let me give you a 3-step strategy that you can use through the holidays. So save this, come back to this episode, take notes as I'm talking today, but know that what I'm about, this 3-step strategy that I'm going to give you, while I created it as a 3-step holiday strategy, it's really a strategy you can use at any time of the year. Number 1, live by the 80-20 rule. Put that in action in your life. And what I mean by that is you want to aim for about 80% alignment with your plan. And especially if you have a plan that's customized for you, let me put that kind of footnote here. because you do need a plan that's going to help you get to your goals and not just spin your wheels. And DIY kinds of plans out there, the mass marketed sorts of plans, the generic advice that you may find on Google or you may be getting through some, Instagram account that you're following, generic plans, generic bits of advice. And that's not a plan that's customized for you, that's actually going to move you toward your goals. And so when I'm talking about this strategy and I say, you want to make choices that are about 80% in alignment with your plan and allow for 20% flexibility, and I say to you, that is going to continue to help you to make progress. You're going to ensure that you make progress in that way and still enjoy life. That is with the understanding that what you are doing, the plan that you have, and the choices that you're making are actually customized and right for your body, where you are and where you want to go. That's important to understand, because if I tell you 80-20, and you're going out and you're kind of doing what you think you know to do to generally eat healthy, which doesn't work for us ladies anymore. What we did in our 20s does not work for us in our 40s and 50s. And if you are trying to employ that kind of a generic eating healthy, and I keep using air quotes, if you're watching me on YouTube, but if you're listening to me, I want to emphasize that quote unquote eating healthy approach is not going to get you progress in the way that you want it to if you're only adhering 80% to that. Okay. I hope I'm not beating a dead horse here, but these steps are considering that you're actually doing the right things for your body, where you are, your fitness level, metabolic resistance that you have, metabolic dysfunction, or weight loss resistance that you have, metabolic dysfunction that your body is embroiled in and that you're experiencing. And to make those kinds of moves and changes, you have to have some guidance. You have to have a plan that's really on point for what you need to do to move your metabolism. When you have that, you can put an 80-20 rule in place. My clients do it. I dare say most of them right now are only looking at an 80-20 rule of adherence in terms of flexibility and alignment with their choices through the holidays. And they're continuing to see inches melt off of their body. They're continuing to see the scale drop, because the way that they're learning to eat is in line with exactly what their body needs at this point in time. Okay. Because we monitor and adjust those things too. So the first step is putting that 80-20 rule into action in life in a way that's productive and moves you toward progress. I want to make this very concrete for you. Because what does 80% mean, right? What does that actually mean? How does that look in life? When I talk about 80% adherence, if there are 10 meals over a weekend, all right, think about it this way. If there are 10 meals that you're going to eat over a weekend, being 80% in alignment with your plan and having 20% flexibility could look like 8 of those meals being on plan, being what you need to do to make progress. And then 2 of those meals, including indulgences. Okay. That's what I mean by 80-20. If you look at the course of an entire week, how many times are you eating and moving? And how can you break that down into a concrete number so you can go, okay, I can actually figure out that if there are 10 meals over a weekend, that means that about 8 of them need to be on track, or at least close to it. And 2 of those can include indulgences, and you'll still make progress. All right. That's how you actually calculate 80-20 and whether you're adhering at that level or not. Step 2, plan ahead. Plan ahead for the choices, the indulgences. Like I said, plan ahead for the times when you're going to indulge. Decide ahead of time. And here's how I teach clients to do it. Think about what is going on on this weekend, or in this week, or this month. Okay. And plan ahead for those experiences in this way. Through the holidays is a really perfect example. When we work, we have friends, we have family, we get invited to a lot of parties and going out with the girls and brunch with, this organization or book club that we belong to, and on and on and on, right? Well, guess what? You don't have to go to all of those things. And if you go to them, that doesn't mean that you have to partake in every bit of the food and or drink that's happening at that event, right? Think about what experiences matter most to me, which events matter most to me. That's one way that you can figure out and decide which one of the things that I'm going to do I want to have as one of my indulgence experiences, right? Also, just think about it in terms of treats too. Like, what treats are worth it to me? Which ones will I look back on and be happy about the fact that I enjoyed it? If you're going to, a holiday event meal at a family member's, and let's say your Aunt Sally makes this most amazing pie or cake or cookies. And the only time that you have those is over the holidays when she makes them. And it's a tradition for your family, and you have enjoyed those since you were a kid. That probably is going to be something that would be worth it for you to enjoy when you go to that family meal. So choose that treat, enjoy it, feel happy about the fact that you enjoyed it, and don't beat yourself up about it. But plan ahead for those indulgent choices, right? Don't just go willy-nilly to all these damn parties. Or if it's summertime and you're listening to this, don't go to the lake every weekend willy-nilly and not think about what you are going to partake in and what you're not. That's what's required if you want to live a healthy lifestyle. You can't eat like a freaking glutton every time you go to everything you attend, right? And that is not the food and the drink is not why we enjoy these things. It's not the most valuable part of it. I'll put it that way. Of course, hell, I enjoy my drinks around the pool. I enjoy around the holidays. I enjoy certain treats, but that's not the most important part of it to me. It is the family, right? It's the friends that you're with. It's the conversation. It's the reconnecting with people that perhaps you'd only get to see once a year. It's the quality of conversation that you're having. It's catching up with. It's all of those other kinds of things. We've just become so used to food being part of every holiday and celebration and different seasons that we've almost forgotten that that's not the point of life, right? And so decide ahead of time, what are the treats that are meaningful to you, that you're really going to enjoy, that you aren't going to look back on and be sorry that you ate? What are the experiences that you want to go to and enjoy, and enjoy those, but plan ahead for those 20% indulgences. Don't just leave, especially if you are on the journey and you're pursuing goals and you haven't yet obtained them. You don't want to leave all of that just to play, and you figure it out when you get there, because leaving it up to just random what happens never ends well when you're in the beginnings of these journeys too, especially. Okay. The third step in this strategy: decide what will be non-negotiable parts of your day and anchor your day around those non-negotiables. So, for example, pick 2 or maybe 3 things, habits that keep you grounded, that no matter what, you have committed to those habits, to those daily actions, and you want to be consistent with those things and make a conscious decision. In fact, I have clients write those down. So what are the 2 to 3 things every single day that are non-negotiables for you? Things that you will not veer from. Make that list, and then you stick with those things so that they can anchor your journey on a daily basis. And then as you go about your day and your week, you're making those 80-20 choices. You're deciding what the 20% is going to be. But that kind of keeps you in a lane, if you will, of not veering too far off track. Now, those non-negotiables are dependent on where you are in your journey and you are in your commitment. It can be things like, I am going to hit my water target every single day, no matter what. Because you have to, we talk about layering habits, all right? And when I'm suggesting that you anchor your day in non-negotiables, start small with a small 2 to 3 actions that you're going to do every day until they become so ingrained in your day that you don't even have to think about them. And starting with increasing your water is oftentimes one that is a simple one that you can do. Every single one of you can do. You can figure out how much water you're drinking currently. You can add about 10 ounces to that and shoot for that target and make it a non-negotiable every single day that you're going to drink water. It doesn't take money. It doesn't take being in a certain place. It doesn't matter where you are. You can do it. It is one of the lowest threshold, easiest kinds of non-negotiable habits that you can begin to build. So it could be drinking water. Another non-negotiable could be, maybe you are someone who is low on energy and you've really been trying to increase your energy and get healthy. And so you're going to make it a non-negotiable that you start your day with some kind of nutrition at the beginning of the day, some type of nutrition injection, breakfast, if you will, every single day. Maybe it's that you're going to make sure that every day you take a walk that's at least 10 minutes a day, whether that's around your office, you're just getting up for, 2 5-minute walking breaks, or maybe it's a 10-minute walk in the evening. Those are just some examples, but decide on 2 or 3 non-negotiable actions, habits that you will do no matter what, that you can anchor your day with, and then you can build your other choices around that. So that's a really solid 3-step strategy for you to use. Um, and really, use that analogy that I talked about with the bank account, the deposits and the withdrawals, so that you can simplify this journey in a way that on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't feel like such a mountain that you're climbing every day, that you just continually fall to the base of that mountain and you don't feel like you're getting anything done. All right. So a couple of questions that I'll give you before I close out that are sort of reflection kinds of questions. And maybe if you take these questions and you journal about them, it will help you with deciding on those anchor habits. It will help you with using the 3-step strategy that I've given you. It will help you with that idea of, like, what are the withdrawals that you're making? What are the deposits that you're making? How do you want to change that sort of banking account in your health life? And so 3 questions. What indulgences are really, truly meaningful to you? And if it's the holidays right now, what indulgences are truly meaningful to you during this holiday season? If it's summertime, what indulgences over the course of summer are really important to you? If you're a lake family, or you are vacationing multiple times over the warm weather season, maybe you have a pool in your backyard like we do, and so hanging out at the pool during the week or every weekend is part of your lifestyle. Whatever the season is, what indulgences right now are truly meaningful to you during this season? Write about that. What small habits can you incorporate each day that are healthy, that you can stick to every single day, no matter what? Make yourself a list. This is question number 3. How are you currently enjoying life and making that enjoyment part of your journey and your path toward progress? Whatever you're doing right now, if you're working toward goals and you want to make progress, How are you incorporating enjoyment into that? If you're not currently doing that, then I would encourage you to reflect on how you will do that. Because if you are not incorporating enjoyment in a way that is a regular part of your daily life, and you're making this health journey about deprivation, about dieting, about restricting, more about what you can't have than what you can have. If that is your mindset, the very first thing you need to do is work on why that is and how you can change it. And a simple way is to focus on how do you incorporate enjoyment with also staying on track toward progress. All right. Your success is not about being perfect on this journey. It's about being intentional. The holidays are a season. Summer is a season. Spring is a season. Vacationing time is a season. You can't let those seasons be setbacks. You have to focus on what strategies are you going to use? What habits are you going to use? How can you really balance, if you will, that bank account in a way that you're not only staying on track, but you're able to enjoy the moments in life, the holiday moments, the summer moments, the moments that your kids are home from college, the moments that maybe you still have kids at home. How are you creating a lifestyle where all of that is part of life? Because it is, all of it is part of life. It should be. If it's not, you're never going to be able to sustain what you're doing. Willpower is never going to carry you. It's not about your willpower. It's about you being intentional and figuring out a way of life for you that's doable every day for the rest of your life. Okay? All right. So there it is. If you are listening to this and we just had Christmas, I hope you had a wonderful, beautiful, happy Christmas, a Merry Christmas, if you will. And I hope your new year is amazing. And I'll tell you, don't wait until January 1 to make a list of New Year's resolutions. You've heard me say it a million times. Start today. Do one thing today because there's nothing magical about January 1. Nothing. It's just another day. And every time you think of the start of the year as when you're going to quote unquote start your health journey, you're setting yourself up for failure. Start today. And if there's anything that I can do to help you on that path, reach out to me. You know how you can get in touch with me. My email is in the show notes. You can message me in private messenger on Facebook. You can message me on Instagram. And yeah, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thanks for spending time with me today, and I'll see you right back here next time.